Find the derivative of g of x equals the cubed root of the quantity 6x squared plus 3x minus 1, then evaluate g prime of 1. G of x here is the cubed root of an entire expression, 6x squared plus 3x minus 1. The first thing I'm going to do is rewrite this as a fractional exponent for the derivative. 6x squared plus 3x minus 1 is to the first power and then cubed or third root, so 1 over 3. Since the entire thing is the 1/3 power, the outermost function is the 1/3 power, we're going to use the power rule. So g prime of x will be, bring the power down, leave the inside alone exactly as we see it, subtract 1 from the power, I will call that 3/3. But since the inside of the 1/3 power is not just an x, but an entire expression, the derivative won't be a 1 for the inside, but in a larger expression, and we will now need to multiply by the derivative of the inside. The derivative of the inside will be, well, 6x squared, bring the 2 down, 6 times 2 is 12, x to the first. 3 times x, constant times x will be the constant, plus 3, and then the constant, negative 1, will be a derivative of 0. That's the chain rule. And we have to use it anytime we have an expression inside of a power or an expression inside of a trig function. That 12x plus 3 can be moved out front with the 1/3 since everything is multiplied here. And we will have the 6x squared plus 3x minus 1 raised to the 1 minus 3 negative 2/3. Since we have a negative exponent, that can move to the denominator and become a positive exponent, and we'll want to do that. The 12x plus 3 is not raised to a negative exponent and will stay in the numerator with the 1. Multiplying by 1, it stays the same value. The 6x squared plus 3x minus 1 will move to the denominator and become a positive 2/3 power. The last thing we can do is there is a common factor of 3 in the numerator, and since there's a 3 in the denominator, we'll be able to cancel those out. So let's factor a 3 from the numerator. 3 times 4x plus 1 all over 3 times 6x squared plus 3x minus 1 all raised to the 2/3 power. Since these 3's have been factored and are now multiplying, they can cancel. And that will leave us with a derivative of 4x plus 1 over 6x squared plus 3x minus 1, the entire thing to the 2/3 power. The next thing to do is evaluate g prime of 1. G prime of 1 means to plug a 1 in for each of the x's. So I will have a 4 times 1 plus 1 divided by 6 times 1 squared plus 3 times 1 minus 1, all raised to the 2/3 power. 4 times 1 is a 4 plus a 1 divided by 1 squared is 1 times 6 is a 6, plus 3 times 1, which is a 3, minus 1, and then all of that raised to the 2/3 power. 4 plus 1 is 5. 6 plus 3 is 9, minus 1 is 8. 8 to the 2/3 power. We have 5 over, now 2/3 power, that means a power of 2 and a root of 3. So squared and cube root. And it can be done in either order. It's usually easier to do the root first. Let's take the cube root of 8, which is a 2. And then we will take it to the power of 2 or square that, so 2 squared. 2 squared is 4, and we end up with 5 over 4.